Welcome to a new video, and if you can't see my lips because they look like I applied concealer, this is not concealer, this is actually a tad bit of MAC Stone lip liner topped off with the new broad back MAC Flash Pot. Honestly, I have no clue how close this version is to the OG Flash Pot because I personally do not have this, but I like that look. This is giving me Avril Lavigne vibes. And honestly, to go with Avril Lavigne, I probably should have done just like Cole Kajal, swiped like a raccoon around my eyes and then just be good to go. Because that was the vibe that I was going for back in 2000, I don't know, 3, 4, whatever. Or was Avril later? Was Avril in the 2010s or in the early 2000s? I have lost so much my sense of time due COVID. I have no clue. But Avril Lavigne vibes. It is that time of the year where everybody's doing rankings, and I was actually asked if I could rank like my top of the half year in eyeshadow palettes. And I honestly don't feel it. I kind of don't want to. And honestly, if that video will be made, it will go live, I don't know, somewhat in August, because I am so stacked and planned with my like videos that I'm planning, like releases, but videos. I will not be pressing in a half year ranking, so stay tuned for the end of the year, because in Elemis I will rank my palettes of 2024. But today, as you saw in the title, I am talking about cosmic brushes. I have 6 cosmic brushes, eyeshadow palettes, and I think there are in total 8, but I skipped that pastel one and I do not have the rose one, so it's only these 6. But I thought, let's just rank them now that I've used them all. At number 6, and therefore my least favorite, is the palette that is actually still waiting on my chopping block, and this is the Muse palette. Was this the first that I tried? I'm not sure. I think I bought Muse and Serenity last year when they came back. But the thing with Muse is just the vibe. These swampy colors are not for me. I see the potential of this palette, but I just do not feel the swamp. I don't feel it. But I want to give it a fair shot. So I rank this my least favorite because it is on a chopping block, but it's not in a status of getting decluttered anytime soon, because I want to give this a fair shot of creating more looks with this to like confirm either my feeling that I will not like this or to prove myself wrong, and this is going to be the best palette I tried this year. At number 5, we have one of the 2 newer ones, and that is the Neutrals. Is this a big surprise to you? While I do believe that this is the better indie version of Natasha Denona Golden, at the end of the day, this is still a neutral palette. Neutrals, not so much my vibe, as you probably can tell from this soft eye look, but I appreciate her take on this and the excellent quality, the outstandingly versatile depth levels in this palette make this so good. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think that this is a palette that when I sit here and think about, hey, what look can I do today, I will not think of, oh, let's grab Cosmic Brushes Neutrals. I will have to force myself to use this, but every time I will use this, I will very much enjoy it. But because of that color story, it's only at number 5. At number 4, we have Serenity. There is a certain level of swampiness also in Serenity, but because of the mix with these purples, the blues, the other tealy greens, the lilacs, this gives me more life. I think this is a beautiful palette. I like it so much more than the others, but if you count it right, we only have 3 left. And when you see the 3 and how I ranked them from Cosmic Brushes, you 100% understand why I like this better than the other 2, but it will never be able to beat the top 3. And just between us, we're friends. Serenity palette, let alone for the shade Forest, is 100% worth it. You might sit here arrogant, thinking, oh, no, Ella, we know you. I know what your top palette is because last year, you dumb little bitch, you told us what your palette of 2023 was, but guess what? That has changed. Let's talk about number 3 first, and that is a smaller Cosmic Brushes palette, the only 12 pan palette she ever came out with, and honestly, I want more of this format. I love a good 20 pan. You will even catch me with a 30 or 45 pan palette. But a good 12 pan, and this is the Gothic palette, there is just something unique to it, or not unique, but cool. I don't know what it is, but 12 pan eyeshadow palettes, that's like a sweet spot here inside me. Like something between 12 and 15 is just like the ideal number. And the Gothic palette, oh my freaking god, freaking god, is so stunning. Purple palettes or purple eyeshadow in general is one of my top fave color stories aside from red blacks. This palette is executed so well that if I would lose my collection today and one of the color stories I 100% will bring back to a new collection is purples, I would go for the Gothic palette. And I know that at the moment, or I'm pretty sure it is not available on the Cosmic Brushes website, but I saw on Instagram that she will bring back Gothic at the end of this summer. So be prepared. If you want to grab this, do it. The color quality is excellent as always, but the color selection is even better. You can either go in the more blue tone purples when you deepen up with Alter, or you can stay in the pink purples with Phantom and Serpent up here. You can add some reddish purples, some purple purples, and with Gothic you have a black base shade like black matte that has purple and silverish glitters throughout. Wonderfully done. Obscure is one of those like shifty shades that is transparent, like glitchy shifty. Absolutely stunning. I could rave about this palette all day long. And if you're as well informed as I am about Cosmic Brushes palettes, you know that there are only 2 palettes left. Winter Wonderland and Cool Trals. Winter Wonderland last year in 2023 made it to the top 1. Cool Trals this year is the other palette in my collection that scored a perfect 10 out of 10 in quality, personal excitement, and color story. And I decided that it is time. Winter Wonderland is my second favorite palette of Cosmic Brushes. It's not the favorite anymore. By the way, this is not a spoiler for the end of the year ranking because things can change still. And just because they scored a perfect 10 out of 10 does not mean that they will make it to the top 1. But first of all, Winter Wonderland is the definition of a winter ice paradise palette. I love this palette so much, and if Cosmic Brushes ever thinks about coming out with magnetic single shadows, please give us Winter Solstice in a single. Let me swatch this for you. Shade, y'all. This shade. This is so multi-dimensional. I remember that during the Elemis series, I wore the shade in 1 or 2 videos, and people truly thought that I was wearing different shimmers on the eye, and they were asking what I'm wearing because this blue base, this gold shift, the silver shift, some reddish, some pink, and when you apply this even on top of a darker eyeshadow, you can manipulate it even more. And Winter Solstice is definitely a shade where even I would say give us this as a single, because honestly I totally see people when they really butcher this palette and love this palette the way this palette actually deserves to be loved, that Winter Solstice is the first one to hit pan on and to empty completely. But honestly, Cool Trals is just a tad bit better. And that has nothing to do with quality or so. That has something to do with the fact that Cool Trals is like the desaturated version of Winter Wonderland. It's like this is loud and blue and intense. And then were people saying like, hey, I love Winter Wonderland, but it's not for every day, but I want to get the vibe for every day. So Cosmic Brushes did Cool Trals and added a couple cool toned neutrals to it. Absolutely stunning. I am so in love with this palette. I just hope that you saw my video on this where I created 2 looks with this palette. I am beyond happy with this palette. And if there is one Cosmic Brushes palette, because maybe you're a person, you do not want to buy multiple palettes from a brand. You'd be like, if this brand has eyeshadow, I want to buy only one palette. I want to buy that one palette. And then my recommendation for Cosmic Brushes, if you only want to buy that one friggin' palette, get Cool Trals. I personally do not have a code with Cosmic Brushes. I hope that one day I will be able to sit here and say, hey, and if you want to get these, you can use my code. Currently, it is not that case, but if you want to get something from Cosmic Brushes, please use the code JBN10. It's from my friend Jen's Beautiness. She totally deserves that. You get 10% off and she gets a small commission. Have you tried Cosmic Brushes? If so, what is your favorite palette of them? Please let me know down below. And if you never tried them, or you don't want to try them, or you do not have a favorite palette, or you just do not have an opinion at all, then just comment something to push the algorithm and comment Flashpot. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.